All Excel. Hope you all are well. Wanted to recap day one, day two of Sean's trial. Sean comes. So bear with me. Check out my shorts. I had a lot to do late in the morning for day one, and I want to finish day one so everyone can stay abreast of everything that's going on. If you'd like to donate to this great network, $ Big Angie, 129 Cash App, stickers and chats, and welcome to the live stream. Day one. The escort, ex-stripper, male confidant. We learned that, I don't know what you want us to chirp, so you decide for yourself, that she asked him to urinate on her, and then they said that Sean asked for him to urinate on the young lady. We learned that he urinated at some point in her mouth, that she choked on the urine. That was said in court. The defense states that the charges don't fit. This is so crazy to me. I can't even gather my thoughts. Basically, the bedroom. That Sean his personal business is being put out in public, and that there was no sex trafficking, that this woman and others were willing participants, and that yes, he was a cruel person, mean, not the best boyfriend, lover, but he didn't sex traffic anyone. There's no racketeering. As you've always heard with racketeering, there's supposed to be 2 or more people involved. And as you see, he's the only one on trial. Trying to go over everything. It's like I got so many notes. Oh my gosh, this is like ridiculous. He kidnapped an employee when he could not reach her, allegedly. So everything I'm saying is alleged. Who is that person, and will that person be testifying? We learned within a year all this went on, this relationship with she and he, okay? Within a year. So I don't know if it was month 2, month 3, but this is when the freak-offs, the bringing the extra party, male party into the fold started. This guy who testified, the ex-stripper, he says this escapade between he, Cassie, and Sean went on for about a year and a half. They did become cool, close. He cared for her. He was worried about her safety because he witnessed Sean abusing Cassie. Allegedly heard him slapping her, hitting her in another room, adjoining room. He said the abuse was so bad that there was one night when he could not perform sexually, but yet he still went back maybe 2 more times to have a escapade, threesome, whatever you want to call it, with the 2, which many will find that strange because they're going to look at him the same way, I guess, with her. She stayed on and off under 10 years, going back and forth, the abuse, these escapades, but yet she didn't leave. And then now you're saying, well, I really liked her. She was nice. We talked, we texted. I couldn't perform one night because he was abusing her, but yet he went back. And then another thing, the defense is saying she never called the police, she never filed a report, but went to a lawyer and filed this $30 million lawsuit saying, I'm going to release a book if you don't give me the $30 million, okay? So some will find that fuddy-duddy as well. You're so abused, you're so hurt, and why would you not call for police? And then remember the video where she's being accosted in the hotel? No police report, no nothing. And we also learned that Sean was trying to pay somebody off in that event to keep it quiet, which I think is interesting that it did stay quiet. And I also asked the same question, did that person continue to hustle Sean for money over the years to stay silent? But we also learned in court the guy who taped it off his phone to show his wife because he wanted to show his wife what happened, because she wouldn't believe it. And I didn't really find that strange because people do all type of crazy stuff and always film and stuff. So, I mean, we live in an era where people do like to film things. So I didn't really, just think that was so suspicious that he would film from the computer monitor of Sean beating her up. But he says, I never saw the tape again until he saw it on CNN News. Now, I don't know if you believe that or not, and you're entitled to your opinion. On one incident, the stripper, ex-stripper, testified that one night Sean called him over to their hotel home, wherever, and she was out of it on drugs or something. And he said, well, I guess not tonight. Okay? So we have this guy telling of his interludes with these two people. We learned that Sean has an 18 defense. All women prosecutors, seems quite deliberate. All women. We also learned that 7 black people were struck by the prosecution to not be jury members. Something about past history with law enforcement, lawsuits, different things. Was there bias with the prosecution picking black people to be on the jury? How many are actually African American born in the US? I am curious. I've asked a question about Cassie's husband. He went into court yesterday, and forgive me for saying that she was there, she was not. He was in an overflow room because they had like maybe 3 overflow rooms for friends, the media. How does he feel hearing this information? Because, you know, I don't know what type of sex life he and his wife have, okay? But from what we have been told in the court yesterday and today, Cassie and Sean had a very exuberant sexual lifestyle. So imagine this white guy she's now married to. I think she's on her 2nd child with him, if I'm not mistaken. I know she's on baby number 3, but I don't know if the other one of the kids is not his. I can't remember, but I'll stand corrected. The point I'm trying to make is this man is listening to all this information. And the one thing we have learned is that some people can't digest your past. I don't care what it's about. How you were raised, things you've done, if you've broken the law, your sexual escapades. And we're sitting here talking about urine. And I thank God we ain't hearing about defecation, because that's R. Kelly nonsense. And that's the first thing that came to my mind when I heard that. Oh, here we go. This is a repeat of R. Kelly. And I had been saying that even before hearing this early in the morning about the urination. Whoever asked, whether it be her or Sean, it's nasty. So what I said to myself is, if she asked for this man to urinate on her, that means she's done this before. So what's the truth? She asked for it or Sean? This is deep. The fact that this is being aired in public where everybody can hear, your family members. She has her family members there. Sean's children are there. They left the courtroom. The girl children left once they heard about their own father sitting in the corner touching himself while Cassie and this guy are getting it on. And that is a lot to digest, because those are things you wouldn't want to know about your mom and daddy. And I've said this before, we are all grown. But even when you are a child, you can't imagine your parents having sex. Some kids don't even want to see their parents kissing, touching, hugging, let alone the whole shebang. Now you're a grown-up. You still feel the same. You know how you came here. You know how you were derived. 2 people laid down and made you. But it's the thought. So I want you to really think about sitting in a courtroom, almost 9 months pregnant, telling all of your personal business in front of strangers. People are recording this, writing it down, taking notes, because there are no cameras in federal court. But your family is there, your husband is there. So imagine if the husband and she don't get down like whatever she was getting down with Sean and this other guy and whoever else she did, whoever she got tangled up with over the years. He's thinking like, damn, we ain't done that and we ain't done that. See where I'm going? And he may look at her differently now. Now, like I said, I don't know what type of sex life she has with her current husband, but you have to use deduction that what you do with one person, you may not do with another person. And let's just keep it real. Missionary over here, you might do oral sex over here. Don't mean to be disrespectful, but we're all grown. You don't do the same with every guy or woman. And you'll hear some guys say that, what they like and don't like. What they will do to a woman, what they won't do. What they won't let a woman do to them, if you get my drift. How does the husband feel, Mr. Alex, about what he has heard in testimony from the security guy, the ex-stripper, and also his wife. Does he feel any indifference towards her? How do all the other family members feel? Her family, friends, and also Sean's children, his mother, how do they feel? Do they see their father in a different light? I also didn't like the way they were dressed coming into court. Something about just their attire bothered me. The girls coming in these zoot suits with these straight shoulders and big shoulder pads, like they were getting ready to go play football for the NFL. The mother with this big curly temple, Shirley Temple blonde wig. It just seems like excess and putting on. Don't mean to be disrespectful. Over the months and the year, the son, coming into court, the oldest, not the oldest one, I don't know, his name is King or whatever. He's frowning all the time and, pimp walking, months ago. I'm not turned on by none of that. And it don't faze me none. Once again, how does Cassie's husband feel about what was told in court? The ultimate question, why stay? And that was asked today, day 2. So follow with me. I'm recapping 1 and 2. Why stay? Prosecution asked her that today. And many of us are asking that question because how extreme the violence was allegedly, this urination, peeing, God knows what else, drugging, doped up, taking drugs, using drugs. Other participants, she's claiming human trafficking from state to state, city to city. Why would you settle for this? We learned today in court that she said she was young, she was naive, and that is why she rode the ride with Sean on and off. She was jealous. She admits that she was jealous. That has also been said about Sean, that he was a jealous person. They also were dating other people at the same time when they met one another, and I guess perhaps would intertwine. And the one thing that you're not hearing, just like you didn't hear with R. Kelly much, is that all these people are sleeping with each other and there's no use of condoms. Because we learned with the ex-stripper that there was no condom used. Hello, Stu. I doubt. Hello, Dave. There was no condom used day 1 with the new guy. Very dangerous. We're all grown. But as I've told many of you, as an older woman, I can speak from experience. A lot of men out here do not want to use a condom. You can have a bag of it with flowers and a Coca-Cola, and they don't want to use condoms. And they can be 25, they can be 35, they can be 85. They don't want to use a condom. So I found it interesting that here she says, day 1, this guy knocks at the door and they get down to the nitty gritty, no condom. We also learned that on that first initial visit, she was disguised in a red wig, sunglasses, red, she had lingerie on, and I believe they said some type of high heels, more or less entertainment heels. And where many people are going to question is, why would you keep doing these things if you didn't want to? We also learned that she was the one booking the men. So perhaps it was because he didn't want his name ID attached to a credit card in case there was a sting, he would get arrested because his credit card would be linked to the guy ordered for the services. Very smart. Sean knows exactly what he was doing. And also, he let her choose because he knows she's the one that's going to be having sex with the guy. Now, I'm still surprised that he wouldn't be the one doing the choosing as well, because we hear that he's very dominant and he'd like to order her and other people around. So that at any point did he ever pick out any of the men. But for the record, she was doing the ordering and paying with a credit card, okay? That was today's testimony. Explicit text, we don't know what's being said. The people in the court did not get a viewing of text messages that she exchanged with Sean and the stripper and other people. Only the jury has access to those text messages. Don't know what was said. But we do know that one text she sent to that stripper guy, hey, had a great time, blah, blah, blah. And this is where people want to judge and say, well, it don't seem like you're coerced. You don't seem like you're hypnotized, you're mesmerized. But we did learn that she said she did whatever she wanted. She did whatever she needed to do to please him. She was a people pleaser at that time. She was very jealous at that time, very jealous of Sean. Wanted him, I guess like Jane Doe, wanted him to herself, for herself. And perhaps she probably heard of him, sleeping around with different women. She knew about his relationship with Kim Porter, his children's mother. We also are hearing they may have overlapped in time, his relationship with Kim and also Cassie. Don't know if that's true or not. Once again, the text messages, will they hurt or help her? The text messages. Because right now she's told the court today, I participated, yes, but I was young and naive. But at some point I became tired. But you're talking about almost 10 years. And that's a long time to ride the ride of having sex with someone, performing. That's what these freak-offs were, them role-playing, her dressing up, and I guess pretending to be whomever, Nurse Betty, and he would tell her how to walk, how to talk, how to touch. Lots of baby oil used, big bottles of baby oil used up, maybe 10 bottles or so an episode, interlude. He wanted to see them glisten. This shows me that Sean is sick. Let me make this clear during this live stream. Listen to me carefully. Listening to this message, this information being repeated, tells me that he's like guys who are addicted to porn. That when the porn is turned off, they can't navigate in the real world with a woman. They can't relate to a real woman standing in front of them naked. And I know a lot of people are saying, Queen, huh? You know exactly what I'm saying. A woman can be saying naked in front of him, it means nothing. Because the fact that he's wanting her to perform, to dress up, that shows there's something wrong. And there's nothing wrong with a little role play, but it's all the time. And she said it was all the time, that it was like a full-time job. These are her words. That means there's something wrong with him, that he can't relate to her without hitting her, pushing her, beating her up, dragging her, punching her in the face. See where I'm going? This makes me think that that is true of the allegations of him being a homosexual. Stay woke. Beat her down. Because really, I hate myself, which you already know, whether you're gay or not. You do hate yourself. The fact that you're out here beating somebody up, name calling them every day, making them feel less than. That there's something wrong with a man needing a woman to perform, and he's got to touch himself to get satisfaction. It's the same as watching porn. A man needs to watch porn to get off, but yet he has a whole woman beside him. He has a whole woman in another room, a whole woman across town, but instead of calling her, he wants to sit up and watch porn and touch himself. That makes no fucking sense. How much role playing do you need? You have a whole woman, beautiful woman. Why aren't you having sex with her? Stay woke. That's a sign of a very sick, demented person. As he told her, this is voyeurism. No, motherfucker, this is an illness. I'm gonna play dress up. I'm tired of dressing up. I don't want to put no high heels on. I want to be in the bed with you. I want to, stroll down the street with you, go to the ice cream shop with you. I want to go to the movies with you. I want to go out to eat with you. I want us to do normal couple things. Now, they did all that red carpet shit, but all that's for show. We now know that there was another side to Sean Puffy Combs and also this lady who went along for the ride up until about, 25, 26 years of age. It's still all confusing. Now, you're entitled to do whatever you want. You're an adult. You like threesomes, foursomes, whatever. You want to change partners. You don't want to use condoms. But that's the one thing nobody's talking about. The fact that somebody probably has come up short. Because if out the gate you go hire a guy and he ain't wearing no condom and you ask him to don't wear a condom, or Sean is saying don't put a condom on, you want me to believe, what, this man ain't never slept with nobody else without a condom? Pay attention. Sean is out here fucking and screwing other women, and you think he's putting on a condom? And then that ain't counting whoever Cassie was messing with, and she ain't using no condom. Excuse me. And everybody's spreading juices around. You got to think about that. It's just like when you go to the health department, they'll have a chart, and they'll have a stick figure at the top. And underneath that stick figure are rows of other stick figures. And at the bottom of the last stick figure, it says, you slept with 63 people last night. You slept with 63 people last night. Although you only slept with one, but because you didn't use protection, you slept with at least 63. Stay woke. Now imagine this man is doing this for a living, stripping, escorting, and not using a condom. I won't doubt that somebody in this group is HIV positive or have HPV something, syphilis, gonorrhea, herpes, whatever. Now, we will wait to see Who gonna come out and tell that? Exactly. And we heard that with R. Kelly, that he has the herpes virus and he has spread it amongst the women. And one did come forward to let us know that she contacted it from R. Kelly. Little Rod showed up to court as well. He came there with his attorney. And once again, Mr. Fine, Cassie's husband, showed up yesterday. Did she tell her husband everything about her life with Sean? The things he asked her to do, the things she wanted to do, the things she agreed to do, the things that she asked a man to do, or a woman, or whomever. Were there other women who participated with Cassie? Did she ever have sex with a woman? We have not heard that yet. Will we hear that in court? Don't know. Who else is going to testify? Don't know. Any other famous people? Don't know. But other famous names have been thrown about recently, and there have been some mention of other employees, security people mentioned. Will any of these people be testifying? We will wait to see. Once again, has she told her husband anything similar to what was told in court yesterday and today? Imagine she has not. Because you are entitled to have some privacy. And anyone with sense would see that all that was mentioned yesterday and today is very private. And that's just not something you want to walk around talking about at your neighborhood grocery store, Piggly Wiggly. What'd you do last night? Well, I had a threesome with a stranger. Come again? Yeah, my boyfriend told me to hire somebody. And he came over. He was supposed to strip, but he didn't. And I had sex with him without a condom. And my boyfriend sat in the corner with a bandana over his face so he wouldn't be recognized, because he really ain't nobody. And he was touching himself and gratifying himself watching me have sex with another man. And then what the person gonna say looking back at you? Shut your mouth. Well, damn. That ain't coffee table talk. This is why I always tell women, be careful who you lay with, be careful who you make a baby with, and be careful who you tell your business to. Because anybody could go to someone's home, hotel, and there'll be a camera, which we learned he likes to film. And I won't doubt that Sean has shown his dirty deeds to some of his associates. And that, my dear, is a crime. Sean Combs. Filming a person without his or her knowledge is a crime. All right. Once again, escort not wearing a condom. First time when they all got together. The defense claims that Sean is a complicated man and that these women are willing participants. There is no RICO charge. That what he's being charged with, a RICO charge, does not apply. That he's been wrongfully charged. He's a not so nice guy, mean, yes, abusive, yes, but not RICO, not trafficking, no racketeering. He is not racketeering, is what the defense is claiming. The defense also says that his personal life, his bedroom shenanigans should not be in a courtroom. Do you agree or disagree? Take the poll on my community page. He is mean, but he should not be facing the charges that he is facing. That is what the defense is saying, what he has been indicted for. Some people may agree that, yeah, he's mean. He should have been brought up on assault charge. And I'm also curious about that. Why did she not, why the state didn't file assault due to the fact that you have now shown us the video? This really don't make no sense, because you revealed this last spring, but there's no assault charges. We also are looking at her, why didn't you go to the police? Why didn't you go to the police to file a report of abuse, especially after that hotel incident? They do admit that he is a jealous person, and he knows that he did not treat her and others well. What else I got here? stuff I've already repeated to you all, since I'm ad-libbing a little bit. Once she realized that Sean was not her soulmate, he was never going to comply with being decent acting, behave as the norm, she moved on. Jane Doe. Jane Doe had a relationship with Sean for about 3 years. She was also jealous of him. She wanted to be with Sean in a normal way, such as be out in public with him, go places, but Sean did not see her in that way. And I also believe that he may have liked Cassie to some degree. It was said that he, at some MTV Music Awards, he had said something about her holding him down, but he didn't respect her. So you see, he had different type of relationships with different women. Probably abusive to all, but Cassie, I'll take her outside, but I have no plans on giving her a record deal times 10. She signs this contract, gotta say that. But the contract is for 10 albums, right? She only produced one. So this is where I see the R. Kelly repeat. Bring you in the fold, make you think you can ready to get something good, great, fantastic out of dealing with me, signing contracts, but I'm only gonna use you, manipulate you, con you. That's what was said about R. Kelly. Bring you in the fold, make you think you can ready to get a record deal, collaborations. Your career doesn't go anywhere. You're just somebody there to have sex and he orders you around. That's what he did with Cassie. Now, as for Jane Doe, she wanted to be out in public. He didn't. So she said she went along with the freak offs as well, just because she wanted to spend valuable time with him. The defense says that Cassie is all about the money due to the fact she never filed a police report for abuse and that she demanded $30 million from Sean or else she would release a tell-all book. Now, at this point, some would say she had strapped her boots up and put her big girl panties on. At this point, she was probably sick of his ass and had got, as we would say, black folks, she got brand new. Okay, Negro, I know what you're about, and I'm tired of your SHIT, and I'm done dealing with your SHIT. I want some damn money. But see, we know in the real world, most of us don't have no money. And the men we fool with, they ain't got no damn money. So whether they mistreat us, rape us, bring in extra parties, we stupidly go along knowing we don't really want to do that. We can't sue because they ain't got a damn thing. Because let's be truthful, if this was any other Tom, Dick, or Harry, Cassie could not have sued because they don't have anything. Hello, Pale Rob. Was it about the money all along? Thought she was going to have some record deals, fame, fortune. He started offering her things, bought her a car, probably paid her rent. That's what's said by the defense. He paid different women's rent. But he wasn't the guy that she hoped he would be. And we have seen this so many times, that you're hoping and praying the guy is going to act decent or treat you the way you feel like you should be treated. And you know, you could be mistreated by a person. They don't necessarily have to be beating you up, pushing you down, pulling your hair, but they lie. They are manipulators, they're grandstanders, they're gaslighters, like Mr. Professional. Can't tell the truth if it slapped them on top of the head. And you're hoping and hoping, oh, I hope he change, I hope he change. I've done this with a few, not many. Hope he comes around, hope he comes around. And then you look up, it's day one, it's 5 months, it's a year later, it's 6 years later, and you realize, I've been a fool, this person's never gonna change. They don't want anything because they don't value themselves. So if they don't value themselves, they can't value you. Sean is that guy. He doesn't value himself. He doesn't even respect himself. He's riding on clout, money, fame. But underneath all of that is just a dirty black bird who is insecure, and he's not king. There's only one king. And Shauna is going to learn that. And what we are seeing with his behavior up until being investigated by authorities last year, he still hadn't stopped using drugs, intimidating people. I don't see that he's going to change. 55 years of age, and you still were doing shit right up until, the day they walked in the hotel and arrested your black ass last summer. You had drugs in your hotel. So that shows me you don't give a fuck about yourself. So see, he can't care about you because I think Sean Combs is empty inside. That's my take on him. The fact that he needs these people to all up, perform, touch your arm, touch your leg, put your elbow up here, put your leg around your neck. There's something wrong with your ass. He's not even in a real world. And he don't know how to relate to people, except for do this, you better do this, getting a gun, threatening people. He's an intimidator. He ain't nothing but a grown-ass bully. That's all Sean Combs is. Once again, Jane Doe wanted more, but Sean was not willing to give her what she wanted. They also talk about another young lady, I think they said her name was Mia, and they're questioning the defense why she is involved and wanting to testify. She worked for him. Well, we did hear that he was mean to everybody. It wasn't just this one, that one. He didn't discriminate. Man, woman, child, family, whomever. He was just a mean motherfucker. So I'd like to know, how was he a parent to his children? Because we got all these people jumping out of hats in clown cars saying he was nasty, disgusting, vile. How could you be a father to girls? That's why those girls walked out of court yesterday, because they couldn't believe the things that was said about their father. And it's embarrassing. Now we have people out here who don't care nothing about people knowing their business. I mean, people every day, they say, I don't care that somebody knows about my past. I don't care if somebody knows what I did. You should care. You should always care. Image is everything. It's like they say, you only have one time to get it right. Do you want people really knowing you were doing all this nasty, filthy stuff? And then I'm supposed to look at you and take you serious? He's a chameleon. Doting father, musician, producer, allegedly blowing up cars because he's mad that some woman is dating another guy, some other guy that Cassie got tangled up with. See where I'm going? Who is he? He's nobody. He's a bum. Sean is a glorified bum. And he knows he's a fucking bum, but he doesn't care. And a lot of people, men and women, are just like Sean. They just don't have his money. The defense says that Sean has not participated in prostitution, that he likes spending time with people, so he would give you money for your time. Bullshit. Now, Mr. Defense, you know damn well he done paid these folks to have sex with him, her, and whoever else. Let's stop this nonsense. He likes to bribe people with money. Okay? $150 up to $7,000. $7,000 for about a couple of days, 4 days. We learned that today in court. So, come again. These people are not just sitting on the sofa drinking tea. Oh, here's your $7,000. Thank you for stopping by. I wish somebody asked me over for tea. Queen, you want to come over and sip some tea? I got a $7,000 check for you. Hell yeah, I'm on my way. Leave the door open. Come on now. The incident at the hotel, the security guy, cop, whatever they're calling him, he noticed a black man in that room that same day when he beat up Cassie. But the man was fully clothed and sitting on the edge of the bed, allegedly. He says he found it very strange. He was just sitting in there. Maybe Sean told him to put his clothes on because he smelled some SHIT about to go down because Cassie ran out of there. Or maybe he had just put his clothes on, he was getting ready to go. But we learned from Cassie that that was a freak-off moment when she ran out of that room trying to get to safety. Who was that guy, and will he be testifying? We learned that this Flores guy was offered $100,000 to stay quiet and not repeat what happened in that hotel room. Once again, that escort claims he was supposed to go strip, but he ended up having sex, didn't use a condom, and she was dressed up in disguise. Red wig, high heels, lingerie. Just going over my notes, everybody. We learned the stripper, went by the name Black. And he became a regular with them, and they trusted him. So they paid him often to do these rendezvous. So he could go anywhere to their home, her house. See, that shows complicity. Because now you're talking about your own space. Allowing a strange man to come into your house. You all are texting each other as well because he's worried about your safety because Sean's beating you up. So she had built some type of rapport with this guy, Black. So was she a victim or not? Because some would say she's a victim of abuse, but not a victim of sex trafficking, racketeering. What's the truth? Weigh in. Take the polls on my community page. We learned that he liked to role play. He liked the woman to role play with the stripper escort. Let me read what I wrote. I think Cassie wanted Sean all to herself, kind of like how Jane Doe wanted Sean for herself. But that's not what Sean wanted. And as she said in court today, he got whatever he wanted. Didn't matter what it was. Lots of baby oil mentioned today in court, day 2. This woman admits she was a people pleaser. That's why she stayed in this daunting relationship. She became tired at some point. And I guess that's when she probably asked him for that money. And we learned he paid her undisclosed amount. But then we learned that the state brought forward charges, and then we heard that tape saw that tape last spring that was sent to CNN News. Who sent the tape? Who had access to it? And once again, had they been milking Sean for money for that said tape? The freak-off started in New York with Cassie and that male stripper. 1 to 4 days. When the days were longer, the price was higher for the stripper or escort, as I told you, $150 to $6,000 to $7,000. She said she was naive. That is why she went along with what he wanted, what he asked. She said this made him happy, these freak-offs. So she complied. It was said that in court today, she cried. She appeared genuine. She never looked at Sean. Sean stared at her the moment she walked in, but she gave him no eye contact. And some people would feel perhaps that she was genuine in her testimony. You entitled to your opinion. We really can't give too much of an opinion because we can't hear it and see it for ourselves. I don't want someone repeating it to me. I'm sick of looking at cartoon drawings. I want to hear it. I want to see her. I want to see where she looked. I want to see where he looked. But another thing I meant to put in my notes for one of my shorts, and I'm going to put it up after this live. Sean Combs, you have a lot of fucking nerve to be sitting up here reading the Bible in court when you know you ain't never read no Bible and you ain't looked at no Bible. The rumor on the street is that your mama didn't raise you right. So I doubt that you looked at a Bible in your mammy's house and you ain't looked at no Bible since you became famous. So to go in that courtroom with your schoolboy look and looking at the Bible, you wrong. That's something I don't like, is nobody that pimps Jesus. When was the last time you read the Bible, Sean Combs? You think somebody takes that serious? You sitting in the courtroom reading the Bible? When you went to New York knowing you were going to be indicted last year and had dope on you then, knowing you were going to jail, and then you're going to sit in court now with a Bible? Lord have mercy, I'm dead. I can't say, and I can't. That's all I got today. Day one, day 2. So far, everybody, that's the recap. Making sure I went over everything. Wait 1 second. I hate taking notes. I'm not a note person. Let's hear what the reporter has to say pertaining to day 2 in court. If you'd like to donate to this great network, $DeGangie 129 Cash App. Stickers and Jackson, welcome during this live stream. Fox 5 is the source, everybody. Welcome to the call. Excel. Let's hear what happened.
Pearl Street, which is a federal court here in Lower Manhattan, Southern District of New York, and I was in.
Wait 1 second. She's kind of low. Hold on.
Of New York, and I was in court today for the trial of Sean Diddy Combs, and very dramatic day in court, raising a lot of questions, very powerful testimony by his ex-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura. She took the stand, she's about at least 8 months pregnant, got up there on the stand and started to detail very calmly, very methodically, without any malice in her voice and without any kind of snide undertones that some people might have expected to hear from her. She detailed the beginning of her relationship with Sean Combs, which was when she was 19. She first met him. She was looking forward to having a recording career with him. She actually signed a 10-album deal with Bad Boy Records, his label, and she thought she was on her way to stardom at that point. Instead, what evolved was a personal relationship where he came on to her. She got involved with him personally, and then soon after they were intimate, she says these freak-offs began. And we've heard a lot of talk in the media about what these freak-offs are, but I want to explain it to you, and it might be a little disturbing and triggering for some people, so I'm just giving you that in advance, but I'll try to be as delicate about it, but as accurate as possible. So basically what would happen with these freak-offs, the first one happened in New York City, and basically there would be a man who would be hired, and this first case it was a male stripper who also worked as an escort. The male stripper would have, or escort, would have sex with Cassie while Combs was in the room in the corner. Now the first time that they did it, she said that Combs was wearing a white bathrobe, he had a baseball hat on, he had a red bandana covering the lower part of his face, and that he was sitting there in the corner because he didn't want the escort apparently to see who he was. Cassie was dressed in red lingerie, she had red platform pumps, like stripper type of shoes. She was wearing a red wig and sunglasses because she didn't want the escort to walk away or to identify her until they knew that this person would keep their secrets with them. So they proceeded to have sex. She proceeded to have sex with him. Combs, all the while, sitting back and giving directions as to what should happen. So he first instructed them to massage each other with baby oil. She later testified today, this afternoon, that there were about 10 large bottles of baby oil that were used in every one of these freak-offs, which would last anywhere from 1 to 4 days. And usually the participants would be Cassie, a male sex worker, having sex with her, somebody that she was told to hire. She would do the actual bookings from these escort platforms and escort apps and escort websites, and she would be the one that would actually hire the escort to come in there. And then depending upon whether or not he liked the performance, Combs would pay the escort anywhere from $150, but if it went on for multiple days, the escort would be paid up to about $6,000 or $7,000 in cash. So she said that these started off, why would she do something like that? She said she was young and naive. That's a question a lot of people were asking. The prosecutor asked her that directly, why would you do this? And she said, because I was young and naive and I wanted to make him happy and I knew that this made him happy. But she said over time, and now we're talking about years, they were doing these freak-offs in a lot of different places, New York, Los Angeles, Miami, Las Vegas, and there got to be a handful of these male sex workers that were the ones who were their favorites and who they trusted. So she said that it became more and more degrading. There were degrading things done to her. She said that the baby oil, Combs insisted that their bodies always be glistening, and to keep this glisten, going, they had to heat up the baby oil. They would run it under hot water so that the baby oil would be warm when they put it on their bodies. She said freak-off supplies included lots of candles, the baby oil, of course, and then special outfits for her, these very sexy lingerie outfits, stripper-type outfits, which she would purchase at Pleasure Chest in Los Angeles or the Hustler store there. And then she described how the relationship evolved and that, her music career was not going anywhere, to endure the humiliation, which was her word, of these freak-offs, which you can imagine, and the dehumanization of them. She had to take drugs, she said, in order to just get through it and to be able to get through it, because if she didn't get through it, she feared what would happen. What would happen was a beating from Combs, according to her, and she outlined some of the injuries that she sustained when he was displeased with her: busted eyes, black eyes, swollen lip, a broken lip, cuts on her lip, and a lot of hits to her head. And he seemed fond of one thing that we saw in that horrific video from the Intercontinental Hotel in LA with the beating was dragging her by her hair into different places. And so a lot of times he would watch, he would direct every move, he would tell the escort what he wanted him to do to Cassie, he would tell Cassie what to do, he would tell them, oh, you need more baby oil, and then they would have to do that. So there was a lot of direction constantly from Combs, which of course is very key to the case that the prosecutors are trying to bring, because according to the legal experts that I've talked to are very familiar with federal law and actually have tried cases in these courtrooms here at federal court. They say they have to prove for the trafficking, for the RICO part of it, they have to prove that there was coercion, that she was forced into doing this. Because one of the big questions that a lot of people had when we first started to learn details about this case was, if she was coerced, if she was forced, why did she stay with him for so long? And she said she was actually in love with him, that when he was nice, he was charming, and of course he was also, at the time that she was with him, he was at the height of his career. Basically, I mean, he had the Sean John clothing line going, Revolt TV was starting, he was hosting the MTV Video Music Awards, there were a lot of big things, he was getting Grammy nominations, there was a lot going on for him career-wise, he was being hugely successful, even a Broadway appearance, and then of course running the New York City Marathon to raise money for education in under-resourced communities. So she was meeting, she was involved with him at this very, very prominent time in his life where a lot was going on and a lot of attention was on him, and it seemed as if he could do no wrong. Of course, now we found out that was an image, and now we're finding out more about what the reality is for her. Now, while she was on the stand, as I said, she's estimated to be like 8 or 8.5 months pregnant. She was rubbing her stomach, rubbing her belly the way pregnant women do, or they just touch their stomach when you just touch your stomach when you're pregnant, and just kind of like to feel that heartbeat or feel that movement of that baby that you're carrying. And so she was doing that. A couple of times during the testimony, she reached for tissues because she was getting emotional. Tears were coming to her eye. At one point, she really did get choked up and had to stop for a moment or two, but the prosecutor kept on relentlessly. And then also, she was asked to describe her daily life. Her daily life was basically being all centered around Combs and around making him happy and doing whatever he wanted her to do so that he would not hit her, would not beat her up, or would not punish her. This was the term that she used, this word punishing. And that when he was upset with her, Combs or his bodyguards would take her phones away, take her phone away, take her laptop away, so that she couldn't communicate or do anything. And that he insisted that she be the one to actually book these male escorts. So on all of the transactions, it's her credit card, it's her, her name. She's the one that's actually booking this. But another key piece of the case kind of emerged today of how the prosecution is going to weave this story of racketeering, sex trafficking, transportation across state lines for prostitution. They're basically laying the groundwork for this sweeping RICO case that if Combs is found guilty, he could spend the rest of his life behind bars. He's currently 55 years old. And then what is happening was, she said that his 3 bodyguards, there were 3 or 4 main bodyguards that were always with him, driving her, that would do whatever he wanted them to do. She testified about how one time he put a gun in her purse because they were going into downtown LA for an event that she was hosting, and she felt very nervous about that. She testified about these bodyguards basically doing whatever he asked them to do. And then also there were these assistants. One assistant, she said, would take care of the money, would give her money. And then by a certain period of time, after that first year with him, he was controlling, he or his business, his employees of Bad Boy Worldwide were actually controlling every single aspect of her life. So she can't, I have to give her credit for maintaining her composure throughout, because she's looking across that courtroom. Combs is feet away from her at the table with the defense. His 6 oldest kids, not Baby Love, because Baby Love's too little, but his 6 oldest kids are there in the courtroom. His mother is in the courtroom. There's some Combs supporters who are there. A lot of media from all over the world. She maintained her composure. She maintained her dignity, but she stayed very factual and almost in some cases matter of fact, describing how these things were going. And she said he really had a thing for baby oil. At one point, he had a pop-up pool, like a little pop-up kiddie pool set up in one of the hotels, and had it filled with baby oil, which he wanted her to go into in her heels and in her clothes, which is just unthinkable, some of these things that were going on. But the abuse, the degradation, putting body fluids in her mouth and that type of thing, him and the male escort on various occasions. And she said she reached a certain point where she felt really, really worthless. And that was just so very sad, because you got a sense of just this extreme fatigue. She must have felt this powerlessness and just this tremendous just almost prison, and it's ironic because at the time that they were together, when they emerged as a public couple, it looked very glamorous. She's a stunningly gorgeous woman. He was always dressed to the nines and had all kinds of jewelry. We'd see them on red carpets. We'd see them at these A-list events. And then behind closed doors, it was basically a living hell for her and a real nightmare. But that's the latest here. The family just left the courtroom a short time ago, so the media crowd here is pretty much thinned out. Have a couple more assignments I have to do for Fox 5 News here in New York, which you can watch anywhere in the United States on the Fox.
We'll stop there, because she's ending that. Fox 5 is the source. Let's recap. Jesus wept. What did I just hear? Woo! Feel free to go back to the beginning of this live to hear day 1 and 2 intertwined. Check out my shorts, because anything I talk about in a live, I also make a 15-second short or up to 2 minutes for those who don't have time to watch the live. You just get a synopsis. So don't comment about what else is missing from the commentary, because you know damn well I can't put all of this in 15 seconds. So that's why I had to get up early in the morning and make a short per every damn thing they're saying in court, which is daunting work. That's why I don't really like doing court cases, and I want to make this Corberger nonsense and all that my last, because I don't have this kind of patience to just do this verbatim. This is too much work for me, and I've got too much stuff going on personally to keep up with all this. Reading the Bible in court, nonsense. A ruse. Dressed up, boy shirt, collared shirt, sweater, a ruse, make people feel sorry for him. Will it work? It might. 8 men on the jury, it might. Her testimony, emotional, crying, will it work? Will they show favor towards Cassie and her testimony, the testimony from the security guy, the stripper, and also, ex-stripper, and this Jane Doe, and whoever else testifies. He used her. He's a user. He had no intention of her doing 10 albums, because people put out albums either every 2 years, 3 years, depending on the sales. The sales are really big. You don't have a need to put an album out every year. So imagine being tied to Sean Combs for damn near 15 damn years or so, trying to make money. That was never going to work. He just used her. The freak off started shortly after they started dating, having sexual relations. That's when he wanted her to do all this dress up, heels, wigs. As I told you, there's something wrong with him. He cannot deal with a person in a normal setting, an intimate relationship. That's obvious. Because I won't doubt this is the only way he can be intimate, is just dress up and watching porn, filming, and having other people get involved. Once again, did she ever have sex with a woman? Because I've not heard that yet. Did he invite women? She said he has to stay for baby oil for some reason. 10 bottles. Nice size ones, I heard. at a time per interlude. He loved giving instructions, had her dressed in special outfits, would beat her if she didn't comply or follow through, or he was displeased with her sexual performance. Was she forced? That's the question. Because a lot of you feel like she is a victim, but the defense feels like she was a willing participant. She could have left him at any time. So does she have Stockholm Syndrome? I will put that also on the poll, because that needs to be asked. Because 10 years of this, you gotta say she has some serious issues, because she also admits she was jealous of him, vice versa. But could it be that he just wanted to control her, not really jealous? Because he's out here putting his penis in other women, men. He couldn't be that infatuated with her. She's out here sleeping with other people, okay? And also her sleeping with others as well. Was she forced? She felt like he controlled her entire life. It was a job, basically every day. Her career didn't go anywhere. As I said, I feel like he used her. He had no intention of producing 10 albums. He liked her, he came on to her, which we have heard he's done with many people. He had no intention of making her famous. It is not to say that he has not had people under his belt that made some money, but I think he wanted to see how far it would go, and it went about 10 years. A very tumultuous relationship. He would punish her. He didn't like her ways. She didn't comply. Using other people to take away her laptop's phone. See that right there? The urinating and putting stuff in my mouth and all that. Are you serious? Now I got somebody else in my business and watching me and taking stuff from me? Because I think that stripper guy was around her when she was doing something with her computer then. And there was an altercation with Sean, and he heard, him beating her up and all this because she had saw some images of herself on the internet. So her and that little stripper guy must have became kind of close. That was my understanding in testimony from yesterday. He always kept 3 or 4 bodyguards around him. They went to an event downtown that she was hosting, and he put a gun in her purse. This is J-Lo all over again. As soon as I heard it, I said, oh, so you just like using people. That's all he is. Here, you carry the gun. You put the gun in your girdle. You put the gun in your purse. Nobody's gonna check you. I'm Puffy. You're with me. Don't you see? He is just a walking record player. Just a walking record player. He just keeps doing the same damn thing over and over and over. And people allow themselves to be punching bags, puppets. Everything you're hearing, you're probably gonna hear 18 times over. All of it, the groping, the grooming. Everybody's got the same damn version that's dealt with him. Gave her a purse, gave her a gun to put in her purse, and she felt nervous. Why didn't you tell him no? Sean, I'm not carrying this gun. You want to carry a gun, you carry it, because I'm not taking a charge for a gun. You pop off, then you take the gun, then what? You're gonna shoot somebody, then hand the gun to me? Like that incident in New York City where a girl damn near lost her eye? Almost lost her fucking eye. It's fucked up. They said she was very composed in court. She didn't seem malicious. Carried herself in a dignified manner. Took her time to give her testimony. Sean was living a facade. As I said, he's a chameleon. They were out in public. She's beautiful, dressed nice. He's dressed to the nines, as this reporter says. Nobody had any idea this was going on behind closed doors with a young lady. He met her when she was 19. He's damn near old enough to be her father. He's 17 years older than Cassie Ventura. The reporter ends this commentary saying that Cassie testified that she felt very, very worthless. So even if you have some bias towards her for staying, because everybody makes mistakes, let me make that clear. May not have gone through what she went through, but you've possibly done some things that you shouldn't have done for somebody, breaking the law, theft, whatever. That's the whole point, how far you're willing to go. She rode the whole donkey ride. That's obvious. The only thing she ain't done is committed a homicide. And I'm sure many people felt for her. As I said, even if they felt some bias toward her, the jury panel, her saying she felt worthless is probably the topper of the evening to why she put herself in this situation with Sean. She thought she was going to have a budding career. She only produced one album. And in the meanwhile of her being involved with this grown-ass man, she had been sleeping with the devil. She had sold her soul to the devil. That's my best way to describe the relationship between Cassie Ventura and Sean Combs. She literally sold her soul to the devil for a little bit of money, few shots of pictures in public, fine dining, jewelry, whatever he gave her. But you always have to ask yourself that, was it worth it? If she could go back in the book of life, would she repeat this facade? Because now everybody knows her little dirty secret. And I'm going to be truthful with you, and I thought about this before going live. There are certain things that people should not know about you. There are certain things people should not know about you. And this is that. Her family is in there. His family is in there. There are strangers in there. The judge is a stranger. The bailiff is a stranger. The court reporter, stranger. Reporters, spectators, all strangers. And you have told them things that you're supposed to take to the grave. Nobody should know that people are peeing and boo-booing in your mouth and on you. You're sleeping with these people that you don't know and telling people that you didn't use a condom this time, baby oil extravaganza. You're getting beat up, punched, dragged, hair pulls. No wonder she got a damn hair on her scalp. These are things you're not supposed to tell people. And even when you hear people tell such horrific tales of violence, it does not mean you're supposed to join in and say, oh, I know about that. I've been through that. Oh, yeah, I've been scalped before too. Oh, yeah, I got stabbed too. Sometimes it's best you don't say anything. You just say, wow, that's really terrible. Sorry to hear that. Everybody knows her secret now. So see, I'm looking at it as, because I'm a realist. And the reason why a lot of people can't digest my commentary, because they ain't walked the life Queen has walked. Vice versa. I've lived a life you ain't led. I've seen things you haven't seen. I'm a realist. I live in the real world. I don't live in a bubble. And I know by telling this, she has opened Pandora's box. Say, well, you see, sometimes what is meant to stay buried should stay buried. The flip side is that sometimes the vomit has to come up out of the ground to get justice. So Sean may not have done what the defense is saying he should be tried for. Oh, he's a dirty dog, but there's no racketeering. Okay, let's just say he shouldn't be tried for racketeering. But the universe said, I'm going to still make him suffer for the things he has done in his past that he didn't get an arrest indictment for. Kind of like what happened with R. Kelly. Many people will say, well, all that was old and da-da-da-da. Well, the thing about old is that a crime is a crime, like murder. You can kill somebody 30 years. They don't arrest you. It still don't take away that you killed them. And they're supposed to still be looking for your ass, okay? So sexual assault, drugging, that's a crime. So whether you did it 30 years ago, 20, you still did that. It's a crime. I think that's what is happening here. The universe is saying to Sean, you had a good run, boy. You've been a bad boy. Your time is up. I may not be able to get you for what you did over here, blowing up that guy's car, beating people up, shooting people in a nightclub in New York City. Others taking a rap for other dirty shit you done. Stay woke. But on this day, I'm going to rectify all of that by sending Cassie Ventura to tell all your dirty secrets. And the state complied and brought forward an indictment. I will agree to some point, the defense has a point, that what he has chosen to do behind closed doors, that is his business. So as they said, if you want to have brought forward assault charges, then that's what you should have done. Because basically that's what we're hearing in testimony. He beat her up, he was mean to her, nasty. They had kinky sex, he filmed. What part of that is a crime? The filming, that's a crime, okay? If he put anything in her drink without her knowledge, that's a crime. Anything in somebody else's drink, that's a crime. Pilfering drugs, those are crimes. So those are things he has done, but he has not been charged. So take the polls on my community page. Are these charges accurate against him? Some of you have basically agreed that they are. You're entitled to your opinion. I'm on the fence about Cassie Ventura at this moment. I rooted for Sean to go down. I still want his ass to go down. But I do believe she rode the ride willingly. And I'm not saying that I have not been a fool. I just not have been that type of fool. Do you understand? The shit she was doing was just too much. And she has to remember one thing, that money that Sean paid her will run out. Her children will hear this down the road. Her family now knows how low she sunk to be with a man, sank. And now her husband knows how far she was willing to go for alleged love and fame. Whichever one was the driving force, lust, obsession, jealousy, love, money. It probably was a combination of all of it, as they have said. He offered her a life she could not afford on her own. She probably was fascinated when she first met him. Then here comes the touching. He came on her first. Now they're having sex. Now here comes the freak offs. She's already tangled in the web. But the thing about the web is that you can come out so long as you have not been put in a hole, an attic, a basement, a tub, tied up, chained up. You can walk freely out the door. That is not kidnapping. And you can best believe out of the 12 people on the jury, you're going to have a few that's going to say, I feel bad for her. I feel sorry for her. But she did ride the ride with most of this bullshit. And like I said, I'm not here to say that there were times that he probably didn't put something in her drink, but she knew what he was about. So he's not that type of guy you should even take a drink from. Let's keep it real. Because we have too many allegations about that. Walking into his party, he hands you a drink, now you're feeling woozy, you gotta go lie down. That's his MO. I won't doubt that he has done that. But she did make a choice to date him. At some point, she saw that he was abusive. She saw that all he wanted to do was the freak offs. The fact that she says it was daily, consuming her whole life. That's just hard to see. Because Sean is a very wealthy man and he's a tycoon, a billionaire. So I can't see that every day. How is he constructing business if he's got people chasing her around and then doing freak offs in the meanwhile? I don't know about that. I'm on the fence about that. I'm on the fence. There's no way he could conduct business and have all these entities that he was tied up with, a liquor company, clothing company. There's no way he could be chasing her around. Because I'm sure he had to be in certain places, meetings, board meetings. And then you also have to ask, did they actually live together? I did not hear that. So that's why I'm saying all this, oh, he's chasing her around and he's hiring people to follow her around. And no, this reminds me of that other bullshit. The other girl who brought a claim against Puffy. Y'all don't even live in the same place. So how are you feeling coerced? when you two weren't even dating. So how are you being coerced when you're not even living in the same house? Now, we had heard that R. Kelly did lock some women in rooms. And I believe that. This don't sound like that. If I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. As I said, I don't wish this on anyone. This feeling worthless, this worthless feeling, that's a terrible place to be. Even if you're not, going through this, but you just feel worthless, period. It's a terrible thing to feel about self. And she had put herself in this bottomless pit because she had gotten, I'm sure, accustomed to the nice side, the money, the fame. She wanted to try to make it work, but that's where she messed up. He is an old fool. And he was an old fool when she met him. And now he's an older fool. 5 years shy of 60. I don't see Sean changing. Now, we know through God, all things are possible. That is the only person that could help Sean Combs. Anybody like him, it would have to be God's will. And I don't see him changing. He likes who he is. He likes who he has become. He's confident that he's going to win this. And I'm going to tell you, with 8 men on the jury, you can best believe out of the 8, at least 3 probably will not budge on a not guilty verdict. And that's going to be a problem. That will be a problem. Do you feel like she was coerced? She was forced. She had no free will to leave this man. Because a lot of you are weighing in that you do believe he is guilty of the said charges against him from the state. Okay? That is what many of you have weighed in. We're going to go to my channel and check out your answers. Welcome to the Vault Excel, everybody. Check out the latest video on Brian Kohlberger, News Nation, 1 hour long. Is Cassie Ventura a victim of said charges alleged against Puffy? 24 people voted. 79% said no. 79% said yes. 8% no. She's an abuse victim, but not for the current allegations. 8%. Unsure, 4%. Your thoughts on Puffy's trial, day 2. I believe Sean is guilty, 94% out of 31 votes. I believe Sean is guilty of other crimes, but not the current charges, 3%. I believe Sean is innocent, 0%. I'm not sure, 3%. Wow. Are you following the Puffy trial? Yes, 26%. No, 56%. Trying, 18%. Please go to my community page. I'm showing all updates pertaining to Sean Puffy Combs. I wrote this 15 hours ago. I'm up early listening to the recap of Puffy's first day of trial, and all I can say is that he is sick and demented. There is no help for him. So one in the chat says she's a willing participant, okay? Now, I'm gonna go ahead and throw this in there before I leave. This is pertaining to Brian Kohlberger. The female's friend's account on the Idaho 911 call will not be played during Kohlberger's trial. It is considered hearsay. Should it have been omitted? The friend talking on the 911 call, the girl who came over, what she said cannot be entered into evidence, but the rest of the call will stand. 23% says it should have been omitted. 54% of you said no. Not sure, 3%. It won't matter. Other evidence will be of use, 20%. Should Puffy testify? 37% yes, 14% no, 6% not sure, and 43% of you say I wouldn't recommend it. Should anyone who willingly had sex with Puffy, whether he was violent or not, during the act, at some point, or worked for him and felt mistreatment, get money? So whether he was violent with you or not, you willingly had sex, but you filing these civil suits, you worked for him, you felt mistreated. Should he pay these people? No, 43%. 47% of you all said yes. 10% of you said you are not sure. Cassie Ventura testifies this week in Puffy's trial. Did she deserve the money from him? 82% of you said yes out of 28 votes. 7% of you said no. 11% of you said you're not sure. And 0% of you said you don't care. Menendez brothers, do you think they would commit a violent crime if they were released? 20% yes, 50% no, 20% not sure, highly doubted 10%, 70 votes. Thanks for voting, I appreciate that. Woo, look at this. Queen got 635 votes. Shut your mouth on my next question. Thank you. Boy, y'all make me proud. Should Menendez brothers be resentenced? Damn, 635 of you all voted. 77% said yes, they should be resentenced. 16% no. 7% not sure, and I got at least 16 comments. Wow. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. I guess a lot of people wanted to talk about Menendez brothers being resentenced, because I don't think I've ever had that many people vote on one of my posts. So when you're done with this live, mosey on over to my community page, take the poll. Is Cassie Ventura a victim? Some of you basically are saying yes, she is. But the defense is saying she's a victim of abuse, but not the charges that the state has filed. I am kind of on the fence. As I said, I don't condone what Puffy has done, by no means. I think he's a very vile human being. But the racketeering is supposed to be, by law, 2 or more people conspiring to commit wrong, fraud. He's the only one being tried. So how is this racketeering? Human trafficking? I think I'm on the fence about that. How is it human trafficking if I willingly went knowing I'm going to have sex with a man? Maybe you could say one time I went to his house or I went to the hotel and I wasn't expecting a guy to show up. He forced me. Okay, that's one count. But if I went on and had sex thereafter with Billy, Bob, Joe, that's not human trafficking. Just saying. So yeah, I am on the fence about the said charges against him. Is he guilty of other crimes? Yes. And those crimes should have been brought forward. The state fucked up. You should have had an assault charge for that video. You should have had charges of drugging. If you have videos of him drugging people, you should have had charges of him filming people without their permission. Those are said proven crimes. That's my opinion. Thank you for your time. God bless all of you. I've got more work to do before I lie down tonight, because I have to keep this continuity going pertaining to everything that was said in court. I am now getting ready to make shorts according to what she testified in court today. So as I said, if you don't check out my lives, go to my shorts. I recap 15-second shorts for those who don't have time to watch the lives. But please watch the lives, because that's how I get paid. Thank you. Like, share, subscribe. Drop your comments below this video. Follow me on the news break. Go over there. Download the app. You'll see me. I'm getting ready to probably put up a video for over there. Woo! That's a hard network to work for. They're nothing like YouTube. They don't give out no pennies. You got to get at least 1 million views a video to be monetized. I ain't nowhere near that. All right, everybody. If you'd like to donate to this great network, once again, $ Big Angie 129 Cash App. Thank you for your time. Prayers to anyone who has been physically, mentally, sexually assaulted. There are hotlines. There is help. If you feel like you are being abused, human trafficked, call for help. There is help out there. Take the polls on my community page. Weigh in. Is this lady a victim of the charges? Did he commit the charges? Sean Puffy Combs. Did he force her to do these freak-offs every time? Could she have left him? Of course she could have. Did she stay? She did. She admitted that. Will Sean testify? Don't know. We will see. Thank you for your time. You have a wonderful night as well. God bless all of you. Well, Pill Rider, it's just like, I guess people say, being in a relationship where you're not getting what you need, what you want, and you keep going back, you keep calling, you keep texting, you keep having sex, you keep making a baby. It's just maybe not as extensive to what she did, but somebody will look at you and say, or me to say the same, well, why? You know you ain't getting what you want, you ain't doing this, you ain't doing this. That's just the thing. It's the degree of depravity. That's all this is about. A higher degree of depravity. I ain't letting nobody pee on me. I ain't letting nobody boo-boo on me. But I've dealt with people who did not want to be bothered. Continue trying to see if it'll work, knowing it was not going anywhere. And I have to own that. And I take responsibility. And that's what everyone needs to understand. You can save yourself a minute of heartache. Not weeks, not days, not months, not years, by the fucking second. If you walk out and say, I got to go. I'm not gaining nothing. I deserve better than this. I don't want to do this. Because we have women and men who do all types of crazy things to be with somebody in a relationship. People commit fraud, theft. They allow people to molest their children. They end up doing unsavory things with men, women against children, murder, attempted murder, planting evidence. Come on now. Lie on people to get their kids taken. People can conspire to do wrong together. It happens every day. And you'd be surprised things that men and women have done for each other out of alleged love. It's loneliness. It's not love. And I think Cassie finally realized that. And she sold her soul to the devil for nothing. But only she can grapple with that. She had to ride that ride. It wasn't recommended. She did it anyway. And I'm sure she has regrets. And I'm going to put that up on the poll as well. Does she have any regrets dating him and or testifying? And as I said, if she could go back, would she date Sean Combs again? That's my commentary. Talk to you guys later. Thank you for joining me. You have been listening to the Vault Excel. Thank you.